So I used a shitty Chinese pistol and the magazine that came with it. The magazine was probably better quality than the pistol itself due to the fact that, it surprised me that it could hold, I think, 6 shots. This is the bullet I fashioned. It's actually, at the time of recording, still hot from hot glue being used on it. I used a crayon for the tip for, to look like blood. You'll see why in a second. I'll be hunting some things. There, we're gonna be hunting some furries. I actually want a new fur coat. So this gun actually did come with a barrel, but that barrel just got in the way a lot of the time, so I ended up not using it. Taking it off, it just screws back on. The gun also has a shitty sight flap that keeps going up and down freely. Couldn't even use it if you wanted to. Here I'm using the bullets. This is a completely new bullet, not tinkered with. Here's the bullet I fashioned in comparison. I used red for evil, or for the shit bullet, because the crayon was red too. I used orange because that's what was in my hand. So here I load the bullets. If you're actually going to see, I had some trouble trying to stick the magazine into the gun. That's because I'm retarded. No other reason. I don't know why I just didn't use 2 hands. Set the camera down for a second. And yet again, I run into another problem. I cannot cock the gun with 1 hand. So I actually have to set the camera down and cock it off camera. Now that it's cocked, you can see that flaps in the way again. I go for... No, I eject the magazine instead. Okay. I really don't know what was happening in the recording just now. Just kind of doing my own thing, I guess. Here you see me ejecting the magazine for a second time. I assume I'm firing the weapon. Yes, I did. So that was the untinkered round that I just fired. Did absolutely nothing like you'd expect. It's just a little rubber tip. Next, I'll be using the modified crayon tip round. I believe it was still pretty hot at the time of loading it into the magazine. So it's a miracle it didn't just blow up into hot glue. Surprisingly, it did fit into the magazine too. After firing it, at first I didn't even see a mark for shooting it. Later on I did end up finding that there was a red dot where I had hit it. I had hit the top right one and like the hair, so it was non-lethal, which was a shame. Now, this time I realized this isn't going to be very powerful. Right, so that's what I thought. What really was happening is I was shooting it from too close, as you can see from here. It only shattered the bullet. Now, after the bullet shattered, it did get a little softer. After it got softer, it landed. It could mark its hit a lot easier, as you'll see. Then I fired for the 3rd time. I think this time hitting the bottom one. Also at this point, I realized that the bullet was shattering. Pieces were flying off every shot. I also found debris laying across the table from the bullet hitting the furries. Oh, and here I realized I actually got a killing shot. I believe so. Either it hit the ear or the head. If it hit the head, that means fur coat for me. If it hit the ear, that means wound, but infection probably. So that way, I did manage to mark a hit pretty nicely. Here comes the 4th shot, I believe. Coming out, didn't look like it had very much power, to be honest. But it did land a little bit of a shot. Not as good as the 3rd shot. And for this part, I was actually going to use the sights, the shitty plastic sights. But as it turns out, I actually need to add the barrel to the gun to use the sights. So this time I aim for the top right one again, hoping for that fur coat. Now, as you can see in this shot, I actually did end up getting quite a nice marker. But the bullet was probably not even gonna make it through one more shot without completely being obliterated. At this point, I also want to tell you that that bullet was completely full of hot glue and crayon. As you can see, pretty nice marker where the bullet hit. Gave that furry an ear piercing. Sadly, this time I didn't end up killing too many, just ended up killing 1, I believe. That means 1 less furry to waste ammo on, I guess. It was also at this point that I realized that these bullets could not be used to actually commit suicide, which threw me into a further depression.